So the last review we've got for this show is a show on Netflix that I found called We Are the Champions. I was just looking for something mindless to watch. I saw this, and it's interesting. It's a show that follows some unique competitions from around the world. 6 episodes. Each episode focuses on a different competition. Episodes are about 30 minutes. It's also narrated by Rainn Wilson of The Office. It's Dwight from The Office, for those that don't know. And you can binge it pretty quickly. So each episode will introduce the viewer to the sport, likely one they've either never heard of or are not totally familiar with the rules. This includes things like cheese rolling, dog dancing, frog jumping, fantasy hairstyling, yo-yoing, and chili eating. And each episode follows a standard structure, which is really good. So it gets you comfortable with it. So they introduce the viewer to the sport, they explain the rules, and then they introduce some of the key personalities and participants in the sport. So you'll get to meet the people who are actually going to be participating in the event that they're going to follow. And then each episode closes with the actual event playing out. So now that you've got invested in the people and the characters and the players, now you can kind of root for them as it goes through. And not all of them really end the way that you hope that they're going to end. People that you want to win don't always win. So I found that pretty interesting as well. The quality and the impact of each episode, I'd say, is mixed, but it's interesting enough to keep your attention. And there are some genuinely interesting people and stories to get told throughout. This is not one that's going to make your list of top shows of the year, but it definitely deserves to be watched when you need some time to kill. I would say that my favorite and the most memorable probably of all of them was the chili eating contest. Trey, I actually talked to you a little bit about that one. And just this mad scientist guy that creates like just the most insane chilies that you can imagine. And,
spicy,
puts on
right?
Spicy, just crazy spicy. And he puts on like the Mortal Kombat of tournaments by bringing in just the best of the best from around the world, just to try to see what he can do with them. That was pretty interesting. The yo-yo one was really interesting. And so I just think overall it's worth watching. I would rate it a 7.5 out of 10 just because of the mixed quality. But again, it's mindless. It's fun. I enjoyed watching it. It just wasn't anything that, blew me away. It's been done a little bit better in some other genres and other shows that I've seen. But it's worth watching.
Who's it for? Who's the target audience? Who should watch it?
I would say it's a casual show again. It's not hardcore on any level. But I would say anybody who's is interested by any kind of competitions of any kind, right? For me, for example, you could pick anything, any kind of topic. If there's a competition around it, I'm interested. Tell me more about it. Let me see what do the best of the best in the world look like when you're doing what. And I'll probably watch that for a short period of time. Probably not more than 30 minutes, but 30 minutes seems to be kind of about right. But then do it in a structured way that I get more kind of comfortable and familiar with the format, and it becomes a lot easier then to do things like frog jumping, right? I don't know that frog jumping would have been one that I would have like seeked out to learn more about. But once it comes up in probably episode maybe 5, I can't remember which episode it was, because you already know the format, you flip it on, you kind of watch it go through and you get to know the people and it's interesting. So again, I think it's casual viewing. I don't think it's for, any, particular target audience other than, just something mindless to turn on and watch. So I don't know. I don't know who would be the target audience. I think for future reviews, I can probably put some thought into that and kind of map that out. But for this one, and I was just going to kind of share what some of my thoughts were after watching it.
Very cool.
All right, guys. So I think that brings us to a close for our second episode.